because it takes 6 quarts, I buy it at 5, and I usually have one left over, an extra 5 from the last time or whatever. But anyway, it's a little cheaper that way. And this must be the new one. They give you 20 or 5,000 miles more than the previous. I only take about 10,000, and I switch the filter at 5. And there's the filter that I use. There's the 13mm 6-sided ratchet and socket that you should use. There's the 15/16 for the oil filter. I also use 6-sided hexagon, and that's, I just have that on with the larger ratchet because that's what I found fast. And okay, just real quick, I'll show you. Oh, and there's the old dirty drain plug pan that I use. Okay, in here you'll find the O-ring and the filter that go in the filter housing, and the O-rings for the filter housing. The screwdriver that I used to pop off the old O-ring. And I'll show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, what you're looking at is the drain plug on this. These are notoriously hard to get off. I'm supposed to take a 13, and you should use a 6-point, but it looks like somebody's been monking on that one, maybe not straight. You can see it's rusty. But this is the first oil change I'm doing on this one. Hope we can get that plug out. I mean, I know I can get it out, it's just how it comes out, you know? All right, well, there we go. All right, well, that plug was giving me a little trouble. What I did is I broke out the 1/2-inch wrench, and I have a socket that I've ground down a little bit to get it a little tighter on the thing. And it was a heavier combination of a heavier socket and a little bit more leverage. It came right out. Now, what I got to do now is the exciting part. Make sure you keep this a little proud of the hole. I always keep a little upward pressure, but still half of the time I end up dropping it in there. That one was pretty painless. Shake it off. Put it someplace where you're going to know where it is. Right there on the thing. When I come back under, I'll get a rag and wipe it off. But ooh, she's mighty black, huh? That's what it looks like. Alright. Alright, right here I have my filter and my O-ring. My little screwdriver to pop the O-ring off of the enclosure. I have a 15/16 6-sided socket, also known as a hexagon. Now we don't have to take this off yet, but we do have to move this. Okay, and again, why would you bother putting that and engineering that in there when this opens it up so much nicer? You can get to it, everything. Now what you're going to do is, you remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. This one's going to be a lefty loosey, and you'll feel it come right up out of there. One thing I didn't grab was something to drain this into. So what I'll do is I'll grab a little can or something to flop that filter and cap into, because I don't want to get oil all over the motor. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to throw it on this old towel here, and we'll go from there. I got to clean off the top of it anyway. Okay, there's that. There's the cap. There's the O-ring that I was talking about. And here's my filter that's got a little tab on there that was stuck in there as well. Not too much oil left in there. There it is. There's the new one. Take the new one, stick her down in there. And now what we'll do is we'll pull the O-ring off of this one. And like I said, I can't show it with, I don't have the tripod out here, but I'm going to pop this little O-ring off using the screwdriver. I'm going to put the new O-ring on. New old O-ring off. There it is. We'll wipe this out with a rag, get it nice and clean on the outside, everything. And I'll install the new O-ring. This is the new O-ring going on. Right down into that spot, right. Come on, right there. Push it up against the top if you can. Now you're gonna know if it goes in right away. Okay, you put it on there nice and square. Everything lined right up. I can feel it with my hand. Now, got that down hand tight. And what I didn't show you was a little, you put just a touch of oil. Touch of oil on the thing. When you get it tight, I give it another 3/8 to a half twist, get it down tight. Now you're ready to put the top back on. Well, you know what? Instead of putting the top back on like that, I'll put the top back on when I fill it. Now I got to go underneath. And I got to check, make sure that the motor stopped draining. Replace the plug. You remember, you don't have to go apeshit when you put the plug in. But okay, we're gonna go under there and do that right now. Okay, you can see that it's still dripping. What I usually do at this point is I'm a little too impatient to let it drip all the way out. There's only a few drops in there left. So what I do is I wipe it real quick to get rid of any solids or any outside. Then I stick the plug in and I wipe it again. I usually wipe around the general area just so that if it does leak, you can kind of sort of see where it's coming from. It'll be dirty, but eventually, you know, after 1,000 miles or whatever, 10 miles, but get the idea. And this is the part where you really don't have to go crazy. You just got to make sure that it's tight enough that it's not going to fall out. What's going on here? Okay, and you just tighten, but not over tighten. There's probably a torque for this, but we're not gonna do it. We're just hand tighten it. Been doing that my whole life. So, not saying if that's right or wrong, just saying that's how I do it. Wipe everything off once again. And on my way out, I'll grab my oil tub here. And I'll let down the jack. I'll reinstall the oil. And the dog's barking. Train go by. Yeah. Don't leave any loose parts of this top laying there. Okay. And you come over here. This is 5 quarts, so I'm just going to put that right in. And if you tilt the bottle a little bit with these wide mouths, it doesn't splash all over the place. There. But careful, see it does ride up in the funnel there, so you gotta kind of meter it. You can't just dump it in there. So it goes down pretty fast too once you stop. Look. And it's pouring out pretty quickly. These are supposed to take 6 quarts, but I always put 6 in and check after you run and check for leaks. Getting brave during the end there. And if you're one of those guys that likes to get the last little bit of oil, you can let it drain right in there. But I don't mind getting the last of it, but I'm just going to let it sit on its side and then I'll pour it into the extra container at the end. So that's 5 quarts. And right now, I got to come up with another quart, right? So the last time I bought oil, on the last oil change, I bought an extra one, you know what I mean? So this time I'm going to pour about a quart out of here. Each one of these marks is a quart or a liter. Liters on the left, quarts on the right, liters on the left. See the little marks? And this one's about, what, a third of the way up on the quart mark there. You can see in the light. So we're going to try to go as much as we can down to the next one in the same spot. And again, if you pour to the side, okay, that looks to have been about half a quart. Now we gotta go a little touch more. Now, see what you think. Maybe just a touch more. Touch more and I'll check it. All right, now I'm gonna let that oil soak down in there for just a minute, and then I'm gonna clean up my rags and everything. No, I should have did the video of putting it back. You just line it back up. You can feel where the things click in, and then you just give it a gentle press and it compresses. Okay. Now you're going to want to give it a couple minutes for the oil to go down, but you can give it a rough check. It's not going to kill anybody. It's a good time to clean up your engine bay a little bit too. You can see my rag I use for checking my oil. I stuff it down and it seems to stay there. It gives you a chance to clean all this stuff out. Probably grab the vacuum myself. But all right, make sure you don't have any rags in the way. And then you go inside. We did put the oil in, right? Go inside here. And we start her on up. From what I understand, you turn it to on or accessory. Then you press the gas pedal 3 times, slowly. 1, 2, 3. And the magic thing was supposed to happen. I don't think it did, but let's see. Okay, there's my service tire pressure. Oil change required, it didn't work. So let's see what we can do in here.
we'll make another video on that. But my timing's probably off or something. But anyway, anyhow, what I'm going to do now is go out there and I'm going to check the oil. I'm going to look underneath, see if there's any leaks. And then the labor-intensive part of this oil change is done. And it's not really that labor-intensive anyway. Would it take me 10 minutes? All right. What we'll do is we'll pull the dipstick and I'll run it down. Go all the way down to the end here. Flip it over. Flip it over one more time. Come right down. And the oil is, if you can see it, oil is just shy of the E on safe. And that's pretty good. I could put another quarter of a quart in there, I guess. But as long as it's on the upper half, I don't usually sweat it. All right. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you need any parts, there's a link in the description. And there you go. That was the old oil change on the 3.6 liter. Okay, how I did it was, I flipped through till I saw the service tire pressure, and that means that my next one over would be my oil, service your oil soon. So what I did, I switched over to that light with the accessory on, no foot touching anything. Then I went down onto the gas pedal and I pressed down 3 times, very slowly. 1, 2, 3. And when I came back, it said service the tire pressure system, which I know that's going to be another video. Hit a pothole. Ever since then, my one tire hasn't registered. Had that problem. But I still need to upload the video, I know. But anyway, long story short, when it goes down, you go through and you find oil and engine life and things like that. Up here, we'll go up here, then we'll go this way. Trans temp, oil pressure. The truck's not running. Oh, here you go. You go back. There, 0 miles since reset. That means, sorry, keep hitting the button. I got big fingers. But that means that you have 100% of your oil left. Time to put some miles on her, huh? Let's go for a ride.